is no needless satisfy my curiosity is there is new world waiting explore my possibility.
Where do I even begin? There are some very special anime out there, shows that have fundamentally changed the medium for the better. And those shows will always be something truly special to look back on. But there's something sort of melancholic when talking about shows that mark certain changes in how anime is created, how shows hold themselves, how entire genres of anime are defined. And one such show is The World God Only Knows. The World God Only Knows is an anime that leaves me feeling particularly melancholic when I think back on it. It is one of these shows that fundamentally changed how anime would progress into the future, even if we didn't know it at the time. The World God Only Knows was genuinely the last great harem anime of, well, anime. It marks the end of a period, the end of the harem genre's dominance in the anime medium, and its eventual demise into merely a subgenre of ecchi and isekai. So today, I really want to dedicate a full video talking about this long-standing anime and dive into what made it a phenomenal final attempt at saving the harem genre. First though, a huge thank you to the sponsor of this week's video, me. Look, unfortunately YouTube has been heavily suppressing my videos for some reason or another recently, so if you're a subscriber, make sure you guys ring that bell, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe and ring the bell, because otherwise YouTube isn't going to notify you of any of my videos. It's actually pretty bad right now, so if you want to just double make sure you're constantly following me, feel free to follow me on Twitter and then Twitch once my internet starts working again. The World God Only Knows is an anime that originally started airing a whole 10 years ago. It was very popular for its time and got multiple seasons along with a fairly definitive ending, which, may I add, is very rare for most anime, in particular with the harem genre. But watching this anime, it comes to no surprise that it had such a cult following. For a harem anime, it really tried its best to pave new paths for what the genre could be in the future. I mean, it inevitably failed, but not for lack of trying. It really challenged this idea of what the harem genre could be. From its stellar storytelling, to its in-depth character dives, to even the art and the sound design. This show really was something special. The show followed Keima, a nerdy high school boy who was a professional dating sim player. He was known to be able to conquer any girl in the virtual world, and one day finds himself in a life or death contract with a demon from hell named Lucia. She mistakenly believes that Keima is the god of conquering women, his online alias, and assumed he was talking about the real world. And the contract is that he has to make specific girls who have rogue demons in their hearts fall in love with him, so there is no space in their hearts for said demons. And Lucia can capture them once they are forced out. Obviously, the catch being that these are real girls, not virtual ones. The show follows Keima as he courts each girl one-on-one, following their specific interests and finding ways to root himself inside of their lives. Luckily, after he conquers a girl, which usually ends in a kiss, her memories are wiped and Keima basically gets to start fresh. But each of these girls represent an arc that Keima must go on, and although Keima is clearly very intelligent, his plans almost systematically fail at some point. The point being that humans don't always follow a script similar to a game. Keima is such an interesting character because most protagonists in harem anime had become these generic self-insert characters, but Keima isn't. Keima is an eccentric gamer with a dynamic personality. We see him get frustrated, make simple mistakes, and even get lost in the moment. His character undergoes some heavy changes throughout the show, originally not caring much for what he does to get the girls to fall for him, but then later on, trying to actually fill the voids that's left in the girls' hearts. I mean, a fantastic example is the arc with Canon. He does genuinely get Kanon to fall in love with him, but he realizes that simply having her fall in love with him is a temporary solution. After all, he knows he's not truly in love with her. At one point, she straight up admits that she will sing and perform for his sake, basically her confession. But Keima rejects this, because he shouldn't be the reason she performs. She should perform for her audience and, most importantly, herself. And that was the solution. He saved her from the demon while also filling the void in her heart with something permanent. Keima's character change comes later on in the show. We begin to see the countless relationships that he's had and lost begin to weigh on him. Although Keima tries to put on this robot act, we can see how these relationships have begun to affect him personally. And sure enough, the final arc of the show is that a few of the girls' memories have come back because they are possessed by goddesses. But he doesn't know who. And it all comes crashing down on him as he simultaneously has to figure out which girls are goddesses and re-romance them, while also dealing with the fact that he kind of hates himself for everything he's had to do. It's a really nuanced exploration of love, self-hatred, and consequences without one overpowering the other. This is all accompanied by a truly fantastic combination of art and sound design. Just about all the songs you've heard so far are songs pulled straight from the anime's soundtrack. The show takes each of these relationships and presents them almost as a stage play. They are these bigger-than-life scenes that take place on dramatic sets. The show uses this larger-than-life orchestra behind a lot of the scenes. Hell, some of the arcs even have their own soundtrack and art styles. This anime knows how to put on a show and make it something gorgeous every time. The struggle of finding out what each girl is missing and how Keima can place himself in the right place at the right time, it just feels so passionate, and so many anime lack this feeling. Each girl is more than just a script, and once their arc is done, they don't just vanish. They are still part of the world, sometimes throwing wrenches into Keima's plans. Hell, sometimes completely ruining them. It really is just such a fantastic anime in just about every way. And the fact that this anime is a harem kind of blows my mind. I mean, harem anime were beginning to become associated with low-quality anime productions that were just here to make a quick buck. But the world God only knows really did try its best to bring the harem genre back to the forefront of anime. And you know what? It worked for a little while. It was incredibly popular for its time, and as you can tell, for a good reason. It just does everything so well. But ironically enough, it also set the bar so high that most other harem anime really couldn't challenge it. And so, inevitably, the genre died out. It's sad to see a once beloved style of show die out. Only referenced in other anime, and if one is ever made, it will most certainly be used as a quick way to make a cheap buck or to take a backseat to another popular genre. Harem anime have died out. There is no denying it. And that's kind of what makes The World God Only Knows so special. It's kind of like a mini time capsule. It has so many of these old tropes, but perfected, clean, while also exploring so many new ideas that never really had a chance to develop further. I don't know what the actual point of this video is. It's not like I want the harem genre to come back. The harem genre died out for many reasons, not just because it wasn't super popular anymore. But that doesn't make all harem anime bad or obsolete. I mean, obviously I adore this anime. But it does leave this weird hole in my heart when I go back to watch anime like these. Shows that mark the end of an era. The death of techniques, styles, and, well, genres. I guess I just get this melancholic feeling when I think of The World God Only Knows, because I think this is the last show we'll ever get that can fill that void in my heart. Thank you for watching. That was kind of a fun video to make, I have to admit. I've been really wanting to talk about The World God Only Knows for quite some time, but it's hard to make videos on anime that are 10 plus years old. But I don't know, I felt like a calling that I really should make this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and got to enjoy my perspective on this show and why I find it to be such a huge piece of, at this point, anime history. Make sure you guys follow me on twitch.tv/ManimeMatt. I'm gonna be trying to stream more often. I was going to be streaming more often, but then I don't know, like there's internet outages all over where I live right now. So every time I start streaming, my internet goes out like almost to a T. So hopefully soon I will be streaming on Twitch. And if you want to make sure you're doubly updated on everything, follow me on Twitter. Either way, a huge thing to my patrons. You guys are my heroes. Please make sure you guys share, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Manime Matt. Make sure you guys stay man and go watch that goddamned anime.